Hello everyone! Welcome back to another 1v1 battle. This is going to be the Beastmen versus Greenskins. For my army, we have a front line of 4 Ungor Spearmen Herd, 2 Pescors in the middle, a Brace Shaman of the Wild with the Mantle of Garok, which is the buffing spell that also damages at the end of the buff, and then a Devolve, because I never see Devolve anymore, so I decided to bring it. Devolve's not too bad, simply because it also has a leadership debuff, so that's kind of cool. Behind them, we have a Minotaur with great weapons, and then the 2 Gorbals, and then I was like, you know what, let's throw in some Centigors with throwing axes, because you literally never see them. I think I've used them once, maybe twice. So here they are, Centigors with throwing axes. I don't think they're amazing. Their throwing range is really short, but at least they do armor-piercing damage. But the enemy deployed a Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archer, which is another unit you never see. And we Vanguard deployed like right in front of each other. And the Forest Goblin Spider Rider is definitely going to win in a skirmishing battle with our Centigors. So I knew I had to immediately pull out. Because the Goblin has 100 range, whereas these guys only have 65, so they can be skirmished to death. So I'm immediately going to run them out. But the rest of the army here, we have Azhag the Slaughterer. We also have a Goblin Wolf Rider, Orc Boar Boy Biggin with the Goblin Big Boss. We have, actually it's kind of mirrored over here. Because on the other side, we have another Orc Boar Boy Biggin, Goblin Big Boss, 2 Savage Orcs, Troll, Savage Orc, and then their main line is 3 Orc Boys and then 3 Orc Biggins. An interesting formation. I appreciate it because it's very wide and a lot of cav units in here, a lot of diversity. I like it. So anyway, I'm going to immediately withdraw from the Forest Goblin Spider Riders, and I'm going to try and pull my main line over here to assist my Centigors in this fight. And you can see the enemy is going to withdraw their archers, so I'm then going to try and engage against their Goblin Big Boss so I can throw some axes in his face, but then he is going to run away. I think he's on a wolf as well. Yeah, he's on a wolf, not a spider. So then the Forest Goblin Spider Riders are going to come back up, so I'm going to have to withdraw again. It's okay if they fire into my Ungor or Spearmen, but I do not want them firing into my Centigors, because these things are 850, I think. I question their worth, but they're in this battle. So again, just trying to get my main army over here, which is going to be the enemy's left flank, our extreme right. And I'm going to try and support the Centigors. And you see Azhag is flying over our army, so I'm going to start throwing some axes, I believe, into Centigor, or I'm sorry, into Azhag, and then also these Orc Boar Boy Biggins. I think here pretty soon. In the meantime, I'm going to be chasing off these Spider Rider Archers with the Minotaurs. I was hoping they weren't on skirmish mode, which I think they actually are on skirmish mode, so I thought I was going to be able to catch them there. Not going to be able to. Going to get a round of throwing axes into Azhag, and they do some okay damage, and I think when they're missing Azhag, they are hitting the Orc Boar Boy Biggins. Or maybe I had them targeting the Orc Boar Biggins. I'm not entirely sure. So over here, I knew that they were going to throw everything they had against my Minotaurs with great weapons. And I was like, you know what, this could be acceptable because I'm going to throw in our Centigors, and they're going to be throwing into this mass of units. Going to be throwing our Ungors and then our Gorbals, and I'm also going to buff them up with spells. Now, I thought the Minotaurs would hold out for a little bit. They get destroyed so quickly. So very quickly. I was shocked. I was willing to let them go if I could get a favorable trade. Now, we do some damage to some Goblin Wolf Riders. We almost kill an Orc Boar Boy Biggin, and we get some damage on Azhag the Slaughterer. Not really worth it quite yet. The Orc Boar Boys are only 900 in cost, and the Wolf Riders are only 300, and they're not even dead yet. They're just routing currently. So I'm like, that's a really bad trade. So we're going to continue this engagement here. I'm going to try and destroy these trolls. I'm going to be having the Centigors going after them, and I'm going to have our 2 Gorbals going after them. This unit is going to be pulled back because they can't catch a Forest Goblin Spider Rider. In the meantime, you see the enemy army is still trying to close in, so I'm going to just continue to withdraw over and over and over again until I have everything over here either killed or they pull away to the point where I can't engage them. So right here, I threw my Centigors into melee stance because I thought these guys were routing, and I'm like, oh shit, these guys are back. So we're going to pull out and then get our Gorbals in here because I want to kill these trolls. As long as we get the trolls as well, then losing my Minotaurs will be acceptable in my mind. Not great, but more acceptable than what it would be otherwise. And we are actually going to be able to reroute them, and then I'm going to throw our Centigors in there, keeping the Gorbals nearby so that the Centigors don't get pounced on by these units, and we're actually going to route the trolls. So in the end, we lost our Minotaur, but we are going to route a troll unit, and then we dealt a lot of damage to an Orc Boar Boy and then the Goblin Wolf Rider. So it's like, it's not the worst trade in the world. Definitely a lot better since we got those trolls. So we are now just trying to catch whatever we can. So we're actually going to be able to catch these Goblin Wolf Riders because they don't have a skirmish mode. So the enemy did not pull them all the way back. Goblin Big Boss is going to pounce on us. Orc Boys are going to pounce on us, but we're going to send in reinforcements with the Ungor Spearmen. And you can see we're now just routed the Troll, and I'm going to have them throwing into Aztec the Slaughterer, who is going to land on our Brace Shaman of the Wild. The Brace Shaman is going to, believe, cast a Devolve over here very soon. And I'm going to pounce on him with the Bestigor, the Ungors, and these Centigors, who are now currently walking instead of running. Meanwhile, on the right flank, the 2 Minotaurs are trying to destroy this Goblin Big Boss. I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing with this group. But we are winning the engagement over here. But Aztec is dealing a lot of damage to our Brace Shaman of the Wild. You can see how much damage he dealt. Almost killed him at this point. And he's going to hit him with Terror, which is okay because at least he's not dead. I summoned a group of Chaos Spawn to try and hold off as many orcs as we can from getting into this engagement because I want to kill Aztec the Slaughterer. So that's one of our summons from Morgor the Shadowgave. Meanwhile, over here we have an Ungor Spearman into a group of Trolls, which is not a bad trade on my part. The Trolls are very low armored, so the Ungors can get a lot of damage in with their bonus versus large. And you can see we have just pounced on Aztec and we're going to force him to rout. And I'm going to send one of our Centigors and continually chase him. Because as long as the unit is nearby, he's not going to get his leadership back. And here we go. We have a Devolve going down on these Orc Biggins and Orc Boys. You can see it didn't do much damage. It does apply a leadership debuff, though, and it's something, I guess. I just didn't want to bring a Brace Shaman of the Wild and only bring Mantle of Garok. I wanted another spell, so I chose Devolve. In the meantime, though, we are going to chase Azhag off the field at this point. The Gorbals have been withdrawn from this flank, and they're going to be pulled into this engagement with these Orc Biggins and Orc Boarboy Biggins, who are still killing our throwaway Chaos Spawn units. So they did a lot of work, because they halted the advance of all these units, and then our Gorbals just charged in with a Beskor unit, and they're doing a lot of work. Meanwhile, in the middle, Morgor should be in combat, but he's not. But at least the Beskor herd and the Ungors are. Speaking of Ungors, I believe this one is actually going to be routed by a group of Orc Biggins, which is okay. Over here, the Goblin is trying to catch to one of our Centigors, so I'm going to intercept with our Ungor Spears. The other Centigor group is going to be coming back as well, and they're going to be throwing on the Goblin Big Boss, because I want to try and focus them down and throwing our 2 Gorbals over here as well, because I want to kill the rest of their leadership, because these orcs don't have high leadership, and if you kill their leaders, then they die. A group of Chaos Spawn were just summoned from a Savage Orc, I believe, who was near death, and they're going to crash into behind these guys. The Beskors are holding the front line, so we have a Beastman sandwich going on over there. Meanwhile, this Goblin is going to try and kill or finish off our wild Brace Shaman, so I'm going to send our Gorbals over there. I'm going to run our Brace Shaman down, I believe, and then the Centigors are going to be going after this Goblin Big Boss as well. You can see we routed off the second one due to the throwing axes and the Gorbal. Meanwhile, the main battle line is doing really well because these Chaos Spawn are just taking so much damage, and they're a free unit. They're just a summon. We have another Devolve going down on here to lower leadership and do a little bit of damage, and we're going to intercept these Savage Orcs who are going to get into our Centigors. I believe I pulled them out last second. Maybe not. I can't. Maybe not. Maybe I don't. Oh, that's why, because the game is over. And we are going to win. We routed off their leadership, and then they are going to just break from losses. These Chaos Spawn, man, Morgor the Shadowgave is such an amazing unit. It's insane. Literally no reason, well, unless you really like Malagor, there's really no reason to bring any other leader. He is so tanky, he is good in melee combat, he has such high resistances, and he gets a total of 4 Chaos Spawns. Kind of. Like 2 guaranteed and then 2 that need a unit to be nearly destroyed before you can summon it. But still, like a potential 4 free Chaos Spawn. And it's just... he's amazing. Like, fucking... why would you bring anybody else? I don't know. I'm asking you. Why would you bring anybody else? Again, like Malagor, just because he's at least a caster. If you don't want to bring an actual caster and you want a caster in your Legendary Lord, then you can bring Malagor, I guess. But... I mean, the thing is, he's attached to, like, the weaker lore of the Beastman as well. Like, if Malagor was lore of beasts and not wild, then there's more of a reason to bring him. Because beast is a stronger lore, simply because of Flock of Doom. Really, only because of Flock of Doom. Like, that's the strongest spell the Beastman have, I think. Anyway, for kill counts here, good game to Bink Master. Morgor didn't actually get to see much combat. His Chaos Spawn did. The Gorbals did amazing, as they always do. My Minotaurs, though, they got chewed alive. They died super quick. Super quick. Bestigors did pretty good. Ungor's Spearman got 47 kills, which is amazing. And then the Centigors. Not a high kill count, but they were focusing on Azhag and doing a lot of damage to him until he was routed off the field. And then I also had them focusing on the Goblin Big Bosses. So they didn't really have that much time to just throw into, you know, giant groups of infantry. So I think they did okay damage-wise. They seem to do a lot of damage to Azhag with their throwing axes, kind of. I still think they're kind of meh, but I mean, I may use them more. Let's see. For Bank Master, 59 kills in an Orc Boy group is really good. 110 on the Savage Orc. Holy shit. They were murdering my poor Ungor. 23 on the Goblin Wolf Rider is not bad. The Forest Goblin Spider Rider was an actual real threat to my Centigors, so that was a good pick. But they didn't really get to reach my Centigors because I kept them way out of distance. And besides that, though, just kind of kills spread out all over the place, which is good. Like, you want your kills spread out in this type of army. But again, good game to Bank Master, and I hope you enjoyed the Beastmen with the Centigors. I wanted them to be the star of the episode. That's why I brought 2 of them, but they didn't really have much time to shine. Or maybe I just used them incorrectly, but I don't know. I think focusing down Azhag with them was an okay choice. I don't know. But man, those Minotaurs are great weapons. We're going to get to watch them die in cinematic view right now. Chuck those axes. Yeah. What the hell? They landed right here? What is wrong with you? There you go. Hit that dragon. Oh my god, these Minotaurs are about to just get murdered. So I cast Mantle of Garok on them because I thought they could do a lot of damage. And now Mantle of Garok will hurt them, but it only hurts them at the end of the buff, which is like 45 seconds or something like that. So like they didn't even get hit or hurt by that spell. They were just murdered before that even happened. I thought they would last a little bit longer. Man, was I wrong. But at least we get these trolls out of it, I guess. The cool thing about all Centigors is that they are immune to Vigor as long as their leadership is above 50%, I think it is. And then we're like, nope, U-turn. And the Gorbals are going to avenge their brethren. And there's really no other fighting going on right now. Because again, I pulled back from their main army through most of this battle so I can isolate this wing. Oh, that Minotaur wants it so much. Yeah, you're gonna get it. What are these axes even throw? Oh, maybe Azhag? Okay. Yeah, they're throwing at Azhag. It's like all these axes just landing in the snow. Roadblocks being summoned. Now, if Centigors had like the damage potential of Dwarf Rangers with great weapons, that's a whole other story, man. Look at these roadblocks. They're basically Treekin. You shall not pass. Yeah, I don't even think Morgor even saw combat. Unfortunately. Goblin Big Boss on a wolf, like you don't see that often. Yep, I never actually sent him into combat. Man, that sucks. Let me know your thoughts on the Centigors and throwing axes. I'm curious what everyone thinks about them. But I hope you enjoyed the Beastman battle, everybody. I will see you all in the next one. Take care. Holy crap. What happened to your upper torso, man?